The Legend of Heroes Trails Beyond the Horizon feels like a convergence point for the entire series. It is a game built on more than a decade of interconnected storytelling and mechanical evolution, pulling together threads from Trails in the Sky, Trails of Cold Steel, Trails into Reverie, and the Calvard arc. In many ways, it feels like a culmination. But it is not a conclusion. Trails Beyond the Horizon is also very clearly a setup title. It introduces major ideas, escalates long running mysteries, and ends on a substantial cliffhanger. That dual identity defines the experience. There are moments that feel rewarding for longtime fans, but also design choices that make this one of the least accessible entries in the franchise. I enjoyed Trails Beyond the Horizon, especially mechanically, but I also walked away with concerns about its reliance on prior knowledge and about how Falcom plans to resolve what it establishes here. Narratively, the game functions as a compilation of the modern Trails era. Rather than focusing on a single party, it spreads its story across Zemuria, with the Calvard Republic at the center. President Roy Graham Hart's satellite project, designed to cover the entire planet and eventually support a manned mission, serves as the backdrop for much of the conflict. Alongside this, the Marduk Total Security Company hosts a large scale training exercise using shard technology to recreate monsters and trials. This provides a narrative excuse to bring together characters from across the series without immediately destabilizing the world. From there, the game splits into three major routes. The first follows Van Arkride and the Arkride Solutions Office, focusing on investigations and serving as the primary narrative thread. The second follows Rean Schwarzer and his group as they train with the new assault frame Excalibur XD. The third follows Kevin Graham, Rufus Albrea, and others on business tied to the Septian Church. Each route uncovers different aspects of what is happening in Calvard and Zemuria as a whole, ultimately tying back into Professor Claude Epstein's long-standing prediction that the world is approaching an end in the 120X era. This structure is ambitious, but it comes with a cost. Trails Beyond the Horizon is not newcomer-friendly. At a minimum, it assumes familiarity with the Sky trilogy, all four Cold Steel games, both Daybreak titles, and ideally Trails into Reverie. The game attempts to reintroduce characters and concepts, but many emotional moments depend entirely on prior attachment. Even for longtime fans, enjoyment depends heavily on which characters you care about. Van's route clearly receives the most focus, while Rian's and Kevin's feel secondary. If the Arkride Solutions Office crew does not resonate with you, large portions of the game may feel unbalanced. Personally, Kevin Graham's interactions, particularly with Rufus, were some of the strongest moments in the game, but his route receives less attention than I would have liked. Rian's route fares better due to strong character dynamics, but it still feels like a supporting pillar rather than a central focus. The result is a narrative that can feel overwhelming rather than cohesive. Major developments happen quickly across all three routes, and while some revelations are interesting, few felt emotionally impactful to me. Part of this may be Calvard arc fatigue. Compared to Level or Erebonia, the characters and pacing here never fully clicked in the same way. The ending reinforces that mixed feeling. Without spoilers, Trails Beyond the Horizon ends on a major cliffhanger. The scale of what it sets up suggests that the next installment will rely heavily on asset reuse and possibly familiar narrative ground. That is not inherently bad, but it raises concerns about repetition and about whether some bold character developments may be softened later. Where the game consistently succeeds is combat. Trails Beyond the Horizon features one of the best combat systems in the series. Encounters begin with active field battles before transitioning into turn based command battles. Field battles are simple but functional, offering charge attacks, quick arts, and zone of control mechanics. Command battles are far more engaging, with meaningful positioning, clear area of effect indicators, follow up attacks, and systems like BLTZ, chains, and support activations that add depth. Balance is not perfect. Crafts and dual arts often feel like the most efficient option, especially once characters are awakened through the boost gauge. Still, the system remains mechanically satisfying throughout. Garten stands out as a highlight. It removes party restrictions, emphasizes objective based combat, and adds a strategic layer through movement and Guardian encounters. The narrative elements tied to Ouroboros and Memento Orbs provide additional context without dragging down the pacing. Technically, Trails Beyond the Horizon runs extremely well on Switch 2. Battles are smooth, character models look sharp, and environments are clean and detailed. I encountered no bugs during my playthrough, which is impressive given the game's scope. Ultimately, Trails Beyond the Horizon is a game made for series veterans. If you are not deeply invested in Zemuria, this is not the place to start. Even if you are, your enjoyment will depend largely on how much you care about Van Ryan and Kevin's stories. For me, the narrative did not fully land, and the structure sometimes felt exhausting rather than epic. But the combat system is excellent. Garten is genuinely fun, and there are enough strong character moments to justify the experience. The Legend of Heroes, Trails Beyond the Horizon, is ambitious, mechanically refined, and narratively risky. It is not the definitive culmination it sometimes wants to be, but it is still a strong entry in a long running series. Because of that, Trails Beyond the Horizon earns an 8 out of 10. If you have followed the series for years, this is worth your time. If not, start somewhere earlier. If you enjoyed this review, leave a like and subscribe for more gaming reviews. See you next time.